they also have food on order, which is a little bit different. Oh no, perfect timing.
Enjoy.
Thank you. Hi everybody, foXnoMad here, and today I want to help you travel smarter. So, a jet-lagged foXnoMad for sure, because I just had a 9.5-hour flight from Islamabad to London, and it was a flight path that, for a lot of political reasons, took this very strange route of close to the Horn of Africa and then back up through Europe to London. So I have a few hours here, so I wanted to show you this Aspire Lounge, because if you're staying in Heathrow, as far as lounges go, at least on the international terminal, this big Terminal 5, this is going to be your only option. So unless you're flying business class with British Airways or you have mileage status with them, the Aspire Lounge is going to be the only option. It works if you have a priority pass, so your priority pass will work in here. You can get in complimentary for free, but otherwise you can pay to get in this lounge, which is about £20 an hour. And right now you have to pay in cash. They don't accept cards. Given that it is a pay to enter lounge, I thought I'd show you a look inside, see the kind of perks you can get and whether or not it's worth your money. Although it looks a lot bigger than it is, there's not a lot of actual seating on the inside, so there's not a ton of seating in here. It's kind of all lined up on the sides, and there is no upstairs. There are stairs going upstairs, but those stairs, there's no seating up there. But to give you some advice, if you're coming in this lounge, I think the best seats are right when you walk in the door. So when you walk in the door, there's this line of seats, purple seats. I think they're all purple, but if you come in, they're right here. And a lot of people don't sit here because they want to see what's on the inside, maybe be closer to the food, but they also want to be closer to what they think are the restrooms. But those aren't actual restrooms, those are for the staff. So the restrooms, like I mentioned, are outside around the corner to the rest of the airport. So a lot of people don't sit here because they want to be close to the bathrooms. They're not bathrooms. So if you ask me, these are some of the best seats. You do, if you're traveling alone, do have to carry your bag. Obviously, you don't want to leave it alone to go get your food. But if there are two of you, it's excellent. One person can sit and watch your stuff, go grab the food, or you can just order it directly to your table. And you've got outlets here. Got table space, and it's a quieter part of the lounge overall, and you have a little bit more space than some of the other parts. And they do have some food. Now, since COVID, they've changed from a buffet style. They have a couple of things that are ready made that you can get, but they also have food on order, which is a little bit different. Oh no, perfect timing.
Enjoy.
Thank you. So speaking of the food which just arrived, I got scrambled eggs on toast and then a vegan sausage on more bread. So you have food options that you can order instead of going to buffet. It just comes straight to your table after you scan a QR code and put in your table number, which is a lot more convenient than it used to be, trying to get over people at a buffet. And I really hope that they keep this in the future, even past the pandemic, because it's a lot more convenient. Get your food to your table. There's less having to get your bag, put it on, go get food, fight over people, and then come back and get more food. So it's a lot more convenient. And I'm gonna, might as well take a taste while I describe the rest of the lounge, of course. We do have a bar as well if you want drinks, like alcoholic drinks. You have to pay for those. You can only pay with those with cash at the moment. They don't take cards, like I mentioned, same at the entrance. They also have other drinks like soft drinks and water. And the food is okay. It's better than the food you probably get in the the rest of the airport. It's definitely a lot less expensive because most of it, if not all of it, is free when it comes to the food options. So there are a couple of other weird things about this lounge that are different than some other lounges. They don't have showers or they don't have napping areas. The bathrooms are actually outside, so you have to go outside and then you go into the bathrooms which are outside the lounge. So they're basically the regular airport bathrooms that you have to go around the corner. And although this is a quiet part of the airport, there's not a lot going on. There's not a lot at the gates immediately outside the airport, and the lounge that's across from here is closed, looks like indefinitely. There's not a lot going on, so those bathrooms are pretty free and open, but just keep in mind there are no actual restrooms on the inside of this lounge. Mostly cauliflower, I want to say. Oh, cauliflower. Kind you buy at a store. So a couple more things about this lounge. One, they've got power outlets at a lot of the seats that are by the wall. So there are some seats that are kind of closer to the food that are out in the open. You don't want those. You want the ones that are closer to the wall because you're going to have your outlets there. There's also free Wi-Fi in here. If you're a Wi-Fox user, that password is there. Even if you don't happen to be staying in the lounge, you can get that password. There's also free Wi-Fi that's outside in the airport, just basically throughout the airport. But the Wi-Fi in the lounge is a little bit faster. So all in all, is it worth paying to get into this lounge? For £20, depends on how long your layover is. So if you're coming here just for the food, then it's probably not going to be worth it, because the food that you're going to get in the airport, you're going to have more selection. You probably get a proper meal, whereas here it's kind of small snacks and that kind of thing. But inside the lounge you do have a little bit more space, a little bit more privacy. You can kind of, sit and relax, but you don't have showers, you don't have a napping area. So essentially this really makes sense. This Aspire Lounge really makes sense if you have a priority pass. Now a priority pass is what you're gonna get if you have it with your credit card. A lot of credit cards offer the priority pass as a perk. So if you have a travel-based credit card, I'd say make sure you check for your priority pass to see if it's one of the perks, because it's a really good perk, because you can get into so many lounges around the world. You just show your card and there you go. Like hundreds of airports around the world, you can get into the lounges, so that's really useful. Otherwise, you can outright buy a priority pass, which is a few $100s. So I'll put the price up here on the screen so you can see it. I would say for that price, it's probably better to just get a credit card with the perks and pay the annual fee for the credit card, which is going to equal the cost of the priority pass, and then you're going to get the priority pass but also a bunch of other travel perks. Buying a priority pass on its own probably doesn't make sense, because if you travel enough to get a priority pass to make it worth it, then you probably travel enough to have a travel credit card. So unless you can't get one of those credit cards, or let's say if you're living international and you can't get one of those cards in the country you live in, then a priority pass might make sense. Otherwise, for £20 an hour, this lounge, out of all the lounges that I've been in, is probably not worth it, I'd say. So there's plenty of quiet places. You can sit in Heathrow, you can find a quiet place, you can get a meal as well for less than £20. So as far as lounges go, I give it a solid 6 out of 10. Better than being in the airport, but probably not worth the price. Anyway, let me know if you have any questions, or if you've stayed in this lounge, what your thoughts are down in the comments below. And while you're down there, hit the like and subscribe buttons. I'll have new videos for you every week. I will see you in the next video. So you want a really first world problem? The sparkling water isn't sparkling.